There is one number that separates the people who drown in debt from the people who get rich off of it. And here is the strange part. It is not the size of the loan. It's not the interest rate. Two people can take out the exact same loan at the exact same rate on the exact same day, and one of them ends up buried while the other ends up richer than when they started. Same loan, same interest rate. Opposite result. The difference is one number. By the end of this video, you will not only know what that number is, you will have run it yourself on your own situation. Because debt is not the problem. Using it like you are poor is the problem. Let me show you the number. Forget everything you've been told about debt for a second. At its core, a loan is nothing more complicated than renting money. You borrow a sum, you pay a fee for the time you hold it, and you give it back. That fee is the interest rate. That is the rent. So the only question that actually matters is this. When you take that rented money and put it to work, does it earn more than the rent costs? If the money you borrowed earns 7% and the rent on it is 4%, you just kept the difference, 3% on money that was never yours. That gap has a name. It is called the spread, and the spread is the entire game. Here is where it gets interesting, and here is the one number. Your return on your own money equals the spread multiplied by how many dollars you control for every dollar of your own that you put in. Read that again. The spread is one part. The leverage, how many borrowed dollars you stack on top of yours, is the other. Multiply them together, and you get the only number that matters, the return on your own cash. A rich person does not see a loan and think, how do I pay this back as fast as possible? They see a loan and think, what is the spread, and how many dollars can I control with it? Same loan you're looking at, completely different question. And throughout this video, I am going to keep coming back to this one number, because every single trick you are about to see is just this equation with different inputs plugged in. One more thing before we start. A few of the 6 things I'm about to show you, you can run yourself today with the money you already have. The other ones, you cannot. At least not yet. And I will be honest with you about which is which as we go. Let us start with the oldest trick there is, and one of the most accessible. It is called trade credit. Say you want to sell pens. The rich version is that you never pay for the pens up front. Manufacturers will hand you the product on terms. Net 30, net 60, net 90. That means you get the pens now and you pay for them in 30, 60, or 90 days. They are lending you the product. You sell the pens before the bill is even due. You take the money from your customers, you pay the factory, and you keep the difference. So what was your own cash in this deal? Nothing. Zero. You controlled an entire container of inventory with none of your own money, which means your leverage is infinite. The spread was small, just your markup per pen, but multiplied by infinite leverage, the return on your own cash is enormous. That is why selling is one of the most valuable skills on the planet. The seller never needed money. They needed terms. Number 2 is real estate. You find a property that costs $500,000. You put 20% down. That is $100,000. You spend $50,000 fixing it up. So your own money in the deal is $150,000. The property is fixed up and the market value rises to $700,000. You refinance, pulling out a new loan at 80% of the new value, $560,000.
You use that to pay off your original $400,000 mortgage, and you walk away with $160,000 in cash.
You put $150,000 of your own cash in. You just pulled $160,000 back out.
Which means you got every dollar of your own money back, plus a little extra. And you still own a $700,000 property. How much of your own cash is left in this deal at the end? Zero. That is an infinite return.
Now, let me be honest about the catch. This only works if the rent covers the bigger payment with room to spare. Now, we go up a level to the strategy behind every headline you have ever read about a billionaire who pays almost nothing in income tax. It is called buy, borrow, die. Step 1. Buy. You own assets that go up in value, stocks, a business, or real estate. On paper, you are worth a fortune. But here is the key. Gains on paper are not taxed. You only owe tax when you sell. So the rich person's first rule is simple. Never sell.
You pledge your portfolio as collateral and borrow at around 6%, while your assets grow at 7%.